invasive tree species is Callery pear. You may have heard of Bradford pear. Bradford pear is a Callery pear. Bradford is a specific clone or variety that got planted in cities and parks and landscapes. So Bradford pear is a Callery pear, and it has escaped, and probably it's the #1 invasive tree species in the state. It can choke out pasture land and come in pretty hard and pretty thick into lots of areas. So this one, it's pretty easy to identify actually. They grow initially in quite a nice, almost perfect tear shape form, which is one reason they got planted. They're a nice shape, and they'll have that shape even when they're wild. And then they have a very, very glossy, waxy, heart-shaped leaf, and they feel like wax paper when you grab them. They may or may not have thorns on them. It just depends on what they've bred, what other pear they've bred with when they escape. So that confuses people sometimes. Most tend to not have thorns, but they may have a few thorns sticking on the twigs as well. And then here's the big, huge pear. You might think that can't be a pear, but that is a pear. They're relished by birds, which eat them. And then the birds, of course, flying, poop the seeds out and spread them everywhere. So the tree of heaven, the seeds actually fly on their own, and these need the assistance of a bird. And they really relish eating these things. They're about perfect size for a bird. They're edible, but they're very, very sour to us, and so not recommended at all. Winter time, when the leaves are gone, you may still have the fruits on them. You'll still have the shape of them, but one of the big characteristics in the winter time, they have a really, really large, they're already forming them, but they're going to get a lot bigger. They have a very, very large, tear-shaped, kind of like the shape of the tree. The bud's the same shape, fuzzy bud, very light brown in color. I guess we call that tan. But very, very big fuzzy bud. These are not fully developed. They're going to double in size, maybe even triple in size before they're done. So just driving here this morning, there were whole fields solid choked with these. They're probably most easily spotted in the springtime because they get covered in white flowers. And so you see these tear-shaped trees, all solid white. And that's where, of course, the pears are at right now. So they're very, very easy to spot on hillsides and in the forest in the springtime when they flower quite heavily. Another reason they got planted, pretty flowers. They do have pretty foliage that turns an orange-red in the fall. Shouldn't get planted anymore. I say that. Maybe it doesn't matter because the cat's out of the bag. We're not going to get it back in. It's just crazy spreading through the landscape. Also re-sprouts when you cut it, so it's another one you might want to consider, a cutting herbicide combination sprayed on the stump as soon as you cut it. Probably your best bet at controlling this thing out there.